Episode 237 of the White Cat Outdoors podcast, bringing you to the table while we talk about the outdoors. Well, we got a light crew this week. It's just myself and Tommy. Frank and Austin are out doing other activities, but that's all right. We'll hold the fort down here. This episode starts off with a little bit of a baseball update. So if you like baseball, congratulations. You're going to get a little bit of both baseball and hunting on this episode. If you don't, sorry about it. It's just a few minutes, so either hit the skip button or listen, and maybe you'll find an interest in baseball. But the meat of the episode, we're talking just a little bit of an update on what we've been up to, what we're doing at the property, and we've actually got a couple bucks that were showing up on camera that are really piquing our interest. We've got one buck with some real cool character, some split brows, and another buck that's just already showing big buck energy. So we're excited about that, and we hope you guys are excited about the season coming up. But doing a lot of rambling, so I should probably quit that and get tuned in to this week's episode.
I got out of the truck, and when I slammed the door, I heard gobbles all around me.
Let's see it.
Alaska, moose, spot and sock. That is the bucket list. I agree.
White Cat Outdoors. White Cat Outdoors.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the White Cat Outdoors podcast. Tonight I'll be the one bringing you in. I'm Nick. Got a bit of a light crew here. Frank's out, Austin's out, but we still have one of our other guests in the studio. What's going on, Tommy?
One of our other guests?
Hosts.
That's all I am as a guest now?
Yeah, just for this one. Another host. My bad.
I'm glad you had me on the show, Nick.
I'm not used to doing these.
Yeah, thanks for the invite. Glad I could be a guest on tonight's show.
Yeah, in the studio that's in your house.
Yeah.
So what's it like being a guest on the podcast?
It's a little bit nerve-wracking. Long-time listener, first-time speaker.
Yeah.
So, love the show. Love what you guys do. Excited I finally got the call to be on the show.
Absolutely. You're in the big leagues now.
I feel like it.
Yeah. Speaking of big leagues.
Home run derby last night.
Yeah. Amazing national anthem performance.
That's right up there with Fergie at the NBA All-Star game.
Yeah, I saw that she's checking herself into rehab after that performance.
Yeah. When I was watching it last night on the couch, I was like, this can't be real.
It's bad.
Because they said, like, 4-time Grammy nominee. I'm like, oh, this is going to be a good one. That was not that.
Yeah, unfortunately, she did admit that she was intoxicated and she was checking herself into rehab.
Good that she's getting the help she needs.
Yeah, but nonetheless, not a good performance. But tonight,
All-Star game.
Yeah, so that should be fun. I much prefer baseball's like All-Star game versus like the NFL's Pro Bowl.
Oh, the Pro Bowl, they're just playing flag football, little grab-ass bullshit.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Where like the All-Star baseball game is still a good game of baseball.
Oh, yeah, they're out there trying to compete. The only thing that's not like a regular game is the amount of pitchers they go through.
Yeah, because they're trying not to burn anybody out. Because that's the other weird thing is their All-Star game is like a mid-season break.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna tune into that later on after the episode. But
are you team NL or AL?
Couldn't tell you. I am just pro good baseball.
Yeah.
I like the Athletics, but honestly, if you ask me right now, which side they're on, couldn't tell you. I literally do not follow baseball a little bit. I couldn't tell you a single person on the Athletics team.
Oh.
I am pro good baseball. I can watch any baseball game and just enjoy it.
Yeah. I appreciate that. I'm a big Cleveland fan. I'm team AL tonight. We got I think 5 from the Guardians on the All-Star team.
You got Ramirez out there?
Oh yeah. Yep.
I figured.
So
any updates on Tugboat?
No, for those of you that don't know, Tugboat is a absolute menace that is bringing his way up through the Cleveland's minor league system.
I'm the one that don't you forget who turned you on to the old Tugboat.
Yeah, but
Because I'm just pro good baseball, so I don't know a whole lot about baseball. I just like watching good baseball, and I seen Tugboat and was like, yeah, that's good baseball right there.
yeah, I think he's like 6'2", 6'3", 270 pounds, just a
real tugboat.
Yeah, it's actually fitting that he's, playing right by the Great Lakes.
Yeah.
But he's just pumping fastballs in there, upper 90s, just striking out people left and right, just cruising through the minor league system.
He's stacking Ks like ridiculous.
Yeah. So hopefully, fairly soon here, we'll see him in a Cleveland uniform pitching in the MLB.
That'd probably be the first MLB jersey I'd ever consider buying is if I could get a Cleveland jersey that said Tugboat on the back.
I don't think it'll say Tugboat. I don't think that's his real last name. But I'm sure they will have Tugboat jerseys. That's how you can get a Vaughn jersey, number 99.
Yeah.
From
Major League?
Major League, yeah. Thank you.
I just watched that the other night, actually.
The first or the second one?
Second one.
I'm a bigger fan of the first one.
I am too.
They're both good, though.
I bet you people are starting to wonder if this is a hunting podcast or a baseball podcast.
Yeah. Actually, one more quick note, and then we'll get on to the meat and potatoes. I was thinking the other day, like, how cool of a job would that be to be a baseball announcer? You just travel, watch live baseball, and give the play-by-play.
And just spit stupid stats.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part about baseball is, like, Ramirez has hit more home runs with a Spider-Man movie in the theaters than any other player since, like, whatever. Like, just, like, crazy stats like that.
They get stupid stats and then just the random off-the-wall side conversations that have absolutely nothing to do with the game at hand. But it's great. Anyway, deer hunting.
Yeah, that's why we're here. It's I would say, I feel like we're on the second half of summer, which is like, pre-fall, deer are starting to show their potential.
Yeah,
and
right now you got a real good idea what that buck's going to be come October.
And main part of the episode we're talking about tonight is just our trail cameras that we just put out and kind of a little update of what we've been up to. But I did want to just touch base because I hunt some property that you don't really spend a whole lot of time on anymore. And I got some good bucks over there to chase this year. It's actually where some of my best deer I've ever killed have come off this piece.
Kind of where you fell in love with deer hunting.
It's exactly where I fell in love with deer hunting. I got my first buck there. And my top three or four archery bucks have all come off this property.
Have you ever killed a PA buck not on that property?
Yes, down at the far camp from a buddy of ours.
Yep.
But that might be the only one. So yeah, all of my archery except for one has come off that piece. But anyway, I got 2 bucks. One is a definite top contender for the year. He's already out past his ears. He's extremely tall. I won't speak on mass just because velvet is very misleading, but he looks like
beer can bases.
Yeah, I mean he does have a really nice set of bases. He looks like a pretty good sized deer, and he's still got a little time to grow. And then I got another buck that he still needs some time to grow, I think, but he's got some really, really cool character. He's got matching split brows, and not like just little splits, like big 2-3 inch splits.
Almost like down at the base.
Yeah, that's what they're like big splits, so it's not just like a little kicker or something. It's just 2 equally sized brow tines on each side. So that's just a really cool buck. And then the one side is really good, and then he's got a weak side. But it'll be interesting to see what that buck turns into. I don't know with the split brows if I can let him go, but it'll be a game time decision. We'll see what happens.
You won't.
Probably not.
I don't even know why you act like you will think about it.
Oh, I will think about it, but I'm going to call it a game time decision. But
I think that decision's been made.
You can call it a game time decision, but 4th and 10, you're probably going to punt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you feel what I'm laying down.
Yeah, you got a pretty good idea what you're going to do given that situation.
Yeah. So, but we could be Andy Reid and go for it. You never know.
Never know.
But But yeah, so that's pretty much my update. That's the only 2 bucks that I've been, kind of interested in following around and seeing what's going on with them. But what have we been up to up at the headquarters, Tommy?
So I'm a big advocate for bee conservation. So I jumped on this train. They call it No Mow May. And apparently you're not supposed to mow in the month of May because that's
Are
when...
you making this up on the fly, or is this a thing?
No, this is a thing. And that's
Is
when...
this your thing?
No, this is not my thing. That's when all like the first flowers are starting to bloom and like the first pollinators for the bees are coming out. So if you just take those flowers right out of the equation, you're really doing damage to the bees. So went through No Mow May. And then I'm a big advocate for not really mowing in June because fawns like to hide in high grass. And I've never done it, but I think I would be sick to my stomach if I ran over a fawn with a brush hog. So I like to wait till...
It's a little bit harder on the brush hogs that we use on our property because it's all just behind you. But up on the big farm that we've hunted, we've got bat wings and stuff where it would be...
Even running
easy.
one over with a tire on your tractor. Yeah. I don't want to risk it. Those are our potential shooters 2-3 years from now. Don't really want to run one over with a tractor or a brush hog.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
I like to wait until July to knock off my clover fields. And this year, I don't know what it was, but we just had the perfect combination of rain and sun and heat and humidity that what were once beautiful, lush clover fields were like 4 foot high of just random grass. Mm-hmm. And they looked like hell. And so I go up there early July. Actually, it was 4th of July. And I mowed, and lo and behold, I knocked that high grass down, and it is just pure, lush clover and chicory underneath.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. So I did that, and then we went up this past weekend. So this was roughly a week post-mowing. And so all of that clover that was kind of being choked out had a chance to flourish. And boy, didn't they look good.
Yeah, it's like already ready to be cut again, I would say.
Yeah. So we did that. Got all of our clover mowed. We had, I think, 7 clover food plots-ish. I don't know.
We're pretty big on the way our property is laid out. And this is kind of Tom and I's own case study from our own research in this property. But we have a little over 100 acres to work with, and we've got a pretty good-sized group of people that we like to hunt with. And we felt that the best way to do that was a lot of small plots throughout the property to kind of create different little hunting zones to keep us separated and be able to utilize as much of that property as we could. And it's worked really well for us. We've been able to hunt 6-7 guys on that property and get different hunts throughout the property, like all of us seeing different bucks in the same night. So it's working for us.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And we got all of our firewood cut for the upcoming winter. And then the big thing we had to get done was hang cameras. And we hung a camera on every food plot. And then I think we hung 2 cell cameras and one other camera. 2 cell cameras were just on pretty high traffic deer trails. And then Austin wanted to put one in an area where there's a known scrape that it's pretty much a year-round communal scrape. Mm-hmm. So kind of just...
It's kind of like right at the entrance. It's like right off of one of the main roads that the deer travel and we travel during the summertime. But it kind of leads into one of our food plots. And just like you said, has always got just pretty much a communal scrape. There's a lot of activity that we'll get on that camera year-round from years past anyway.
And basically, like right now, what we're just trying to do is we didn't put anything in like thick bedding or we didn't really even get close to bedding. We just put cameras on high traffic zones where we know we're going to get a lot of pictures, just to kind of see, hey, what do we got in the area? Locate, a couple bucks that, okay, this is one that we'd like to shoot. This one needs another year.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
I know a lot of guys, they put cameras out like in the springtime, and I feel like you waste a lot of battery and time getting pictures of like button bucks, as they're just starting to grow. If you've been on a property for a long time and you know those hot spots, you don't necessarily need to be in there in the spring with cameras. That's just my opinion. I'm sure there's guys that heavily disagree with that, but I just feel that we're achieving the same thing by waiting until now, because now you can see a buck on camera now and know whether or not it's going to be a contender or not.
Yeah.
So
I personally, I do not have a target buck yet. I just got our cameras up in Clymer. I put one camera up on a food plot at my PA property. I still got a couple more spots that I want to hang cameras. But I don't know if I mentioned it. I had a surgery last week, actually a week ago today. So I haven't really been into the whole like trudging through the woods. If I can't get to it on a side-by-side, I'm not hanging a camera there.
No,
which works well this time of year.
Yeah.
Because it's basically just food plots is where I'm hanging cameras right now.
Yeah, and I feel like our group, I mean, maybe me and you specifically, I don't know if Austin and Frank are different, but you and I pretty much follow the same regiment when it comes to hunting. We don't necessarily have like what I call like a target buck that you're just like trailing around all year. We have like a list of bucks that are like top contenders, and we know general idea where they're liking to hang out. And it's just, we're happy to kill anything on that list.
I think in our area, cause like our biggest piece that we hunt it's 116 acres, and it's one of, I don't know, maybe 10 other properties within it, just in one block. I mean, it's just this blocks. It's a big block, but there's,
we have like I would say one of the top 2 or 3 like chunks to ourselves. But there's a lot of 20 and 40 acre parcels throughout this whole thing.
So there's a lot of people hunting it, and one deer is not going to stick on to our 116 acres. So they're going to be crossing other people's trails and other people spooking them, other people seeing them. That it's very tough for a deer in this area to have a consistent everyday pattern, because they're constantly getting bumped around. Things are changing.
And that it's a
people in and out of the woods.
Like you said, it's a huge block. I mean, a deer can walk damn near a mile the way a crow flies and never cross a road on that block.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if you think about that one side there, like they can go nearly a mile without ever crossing a road. So it's not like it's tough to really say that you can hold one specifically on our piece. There's definitely deer that we know that frequent, that we get pictures of 4 or 5 days a week. But that's not to say that he doesn't follow property lines like we do, where it's, that's posted, can't go over there.
Yeah.
I wish they did.
But if you had, 5,000 acres out in the Midwest, and it was you and one other guy hunting it, it'd be a lot easier to let that deer stay on its normal routine and not throw him off his pattern.
Yeah, actually, like your top 2 bucks you've killed up there were bucks that showed up, a week or 2 before, and then you killed them. Yeah. So it was something like the buck you killed last year, and then the biggest one we've ever got up there from you. Both of those deer showed up within that week or 2. Yeah. Like didn't see them all summer long, and then boom, we're here in the middle of the season. Buck shows up, and then you put it down. So it's like, it's not even a deer that we watched all summer that we're like, yeah, this is a good one that we want to try and get onto. So it's a lot of it changes throughout the year. Like deer that we're looking at in the summertime may not be there, and then come October 1st there might be a new buck that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, and the one that you really wanted to shoot come October 1st, he disappeared.
Yeah. So it happens.
Yeah, I don't waste a lot of time and energy trying to hone in on one specific target buck, if you will.
We pretty much just have like a bar of like, if they're better than this,
Yeah.
it's a good deer.
I know our property like the back of my hand, and I know, where's the good rut spots, where's the good early season spots. I mean, you hunt property long enough and pay enough attention, it's almost like you see a big buck here, once, twice. Well, obviously there's a reason that he's going to be there. When that big buck's gone, another one is going to realize
Absolutely.
why was this buck here, and then so it's kind of like you see bucks in one spot for a reason, and if you keep note of that, you can hone in on some.
It's why we
key
have
areas.
our, stands that are permanent sets, because over the years, and there's basically like a lot of our spots are, like our permanent sets started as a mobile set that we really liked, and we went in on a mobile setup, hung a stand. We're like, wow, this had some really good activity. Maybe a couple weeks later, we go back, you hunt that spot again. You're like, wow, this is a really good spot. Next summer, we're like, okay, now that we've hunted this area, we know that bucks are moving through here. What tree puts us in the best opportunity to hunt there? And that's how kind of most of our permanent sets have become where they're at, is based off of multiple mobile sits in that area. And then you can go there in the summertime and decide, okay, I saw the activity here, but I really needed to be in that tree in order to make a shot.
Yeah.
So,
And I mean, we've been burned where we've hung a permanent stand just because, you find like, oh, this looks like a good area. There's some trail crossings. And you hang up a stand, and I mean, you'll have deer in front of you, but if you notice, all of your buck activity is 60 yards to the west.
mm-hmm.
So then,
permanent set's a lot harder to move once you screw in pegs and all that stuff.
Yeah, so we've done that, where you're relocating a permanent set just 60 yards. So now we like to, if we're hunting a new area, go in with a mobile spot and really hone in and find, okay, this is the exact spot we need to be, and then put your permanent stand there.
Yeah, I like that. That's what works for us.
Yeah, that's about it.
I
think probably next week I should have some updates for you on bucks that I've got on camera.
Yeah, we're heading up there this weekend, hopefully, to go pull some cameras and see what's out there. Corn's looking great. This is the first I've seen the corn really since it got planted. I'm very, very happy about that. I know if you've been listening for the past few years, you know that we've struggled with corn, but this year it's looking really good, so I'm happy about that. Hopefully have a plan for repeated success.
I think we do.
But like Tom said, that about wraps it up here. A lot of stuff happening really fast here when it comes to end of July, early August. I mean, we were dangerously close to, being in the deer stand. I know the weather doesn't quite feel like it, but weather changes quick, so it's right around the corner. But I guess we'll wrap it up there. We hope you guys got your cameras out and starting to pick some bucks to chase this year. So you guys know what to do. Get outside.